In a small, bustling village surrounded by green hills and rich farmland, life unfolded with gentle rhythms shaped by seasons and traditions. Among the villagers, a young boy named Dewey wandered through simple joys and daily chores, his existence woven intimately into the tapestry of his family and community. The aroma of fresh bread filled the early air, drawing him to moments of shared food and laughter. The tactile pleasure of eating bread dipped in sweet che and the taste of vibrant pink cakes spoke to a heritage where culinary customs bound generations together. Each bite carried warmth and connection, embedding memories of family affection deeper into Dewey's heart. Clad in a vibrant superhero shirt, oversized yet cherished, Dewey embodied the youthful spirit that fluttered amidst the village's gentle landscape. Choices made with innocent care about which shirt to wear, which pillow to hug, evoked the tender unfolding of childhood within a protective cocoon woven by family love. His small, lively world was marked by the playful energy of soccer games, the comforting presence of loved ones, and the steady unfolding of everyday moments that offered security amid life's uncertainties. Economic life in the village pulsed with the hard work of harvesting custard apples and other fruits, an annual labor reflecting the intimate bond between people and land. Vendors carefully weighed kilos of fruit, balanced prices to support family livelihoods, and engaged in exchanges that served as social as well as commercial rituals. The rhythmic ebb and flow of produce sales shaped the village's economy, binding individuals not only through commerce, but through shared responsibility and mutual support. As Dewey and his loved ones navigated daily rounds, the village whispered the undercurrents of change. A respected figure, Comrade Truong, prepared to depart after nearly 7 years of dedicated service, his farewell stirring reflections on duty, solidarity, and the challenges that lay ahead. His words resonated deeply, acknowledging past conflicts and mistakes while extending hopes for future comradeship and collaboration. The anticipation of a new vice president's arrival was met with cautious optimism, emblematic of the village's evolving governance wrapped in familial bonds and collective purpose. The community's shared concerns extended beyond administrative changes to the lived reality of struggle. The presence of poverty, the scars left by natural disasters, and the ongoing quest to eradicate hunger underscored the fragile progress at the village's core. The collective aspiration for development, peace, and joy was voiced with sincerity, forging a consciousness that blended gratitude for the past with commitment to future improvement. Daily interactions burst with vitality. The careful selection of fruit, the weighing and pricing, the animated yet caring exchanges between vendors and buyers painted a vibrant tableau of rural life. Even the smallest details, like brushing off dust or ensuring fruit's freshness, embodied a respect for labor and nature common to the villagers' worldview. These acts manifested a reverence for perseverance and an assertion of dignity in work, grounding the community in shared values and mutual care. The village landscape offered quiet beauty and a canvas of memory. Garden spaces blooming with custard apples, the scattered homes with roofs weathered by time, and the surrounding mountains painted a living portrait of place. The land held stories of toil and hope, its changing colors tracking the rhythms of growth and renewal. Each day marked progress not only in harvest, but in the sustained weaving of life's continuity across generations. Amid the vivid pulse of commerce and camaraderie, deeper emotional currents threaded through the village fabric. The tenderness shown in care for children, the understanding extended in moments of fatigue, and the kindness in sharing goods reflected a web of affection binding the community. The hopes pinned on youth like Dewey carried the weight of past sacrifices and future dreams, a silent pact of trust and endurance encoded in everyday interactions. At the same time, shadows of hardship lingered. The enormity of tasks, the physical strain of labor, and the ever-present threat of natural calamities retold the persistent challenges overshadowing gifted moments of joy. The weather's caprice, dark clouds gathering, winds rising, reminded all of the fragility undergirding the village's peaceful surface, prompting vigilance and resilience. These complex layers of village life, joy and struggle, hope and uncertainty, connection and vulnerability, formed the essential texture of the story. The preparations for departure by a beloved leader marked a poignant transition. The legacy of service, marked by both accomplishment and complication, underscored the human side of governance embedded in personal relationships. His hopes for unity and mutual support transcended organizational roles, revealing a vision of community built on shared experience. The tender scenes of shopping for clothes, choosing among colorful shirts, and talking about future plans for the home revealed aspirations for stability and renewal. The intent to beautify the house, to create a warm, meaningful space to welcome a returning loved one, demonstrated enduring bonds nurtured against the backdrop of change. These acts of daily life resonated with symbolic importance, embodying care, hope, and the continuity of family legacy. Expressions of love and support soared amidst these moments. The commitment to fidelity, the shared dreams of overcoming hardship, and the promise of enduring connection despite distance and difficulty spoke to universal themes. These intimate vows carried the weight of history and emotion, linking individual destinies with collective resilience. The villagers' everyday concerns, like protecting crops from bruising bags, selling fruit at fair prices, and ensuring children's needs, represented the grounding of life in physical and social realities. These practical elements were inseparable from emotional well-being and social cohesion, indicating a holistic vision of life, blending work, care, and hope. Stories of storms and sunshine, the life cycles of dragonflies, clinging together through the rain, served as metaphors for enduring relationships amid adversity. These images articulated the deep rootedness of belonging and the sustaining power of love and community. The narrative's wide embrace, from the smallest fruit to the grandest commitments of service and love, offered a richly textured canvas. Life in the village was a confluence of human endeavor, natural beauty, social change, and emotional depth. Each act of care, each shared joy, each promise reinforced the fabric holding the community together. As the day concluded and plans made for journeys ahead, the story captured the tension between departure and return, between separation and reunion. The delicate negotiations of love, work, and family painted a portrait of life in motion, shaped by duty and desire, fear and hope. This segment of the story, thus, unfolds a vivid picture of rural Vietnamese life infused with emotional richness and social complexity. It honors the invisibly heroic efforts making continuity and community possible amid the inevitable tides of change. The village breathed under the caress of early morning mist and the scent of ripening custard apples, the rhythm of daily life echoing ancient cadences while caught in the currents of modern change. Ly Tieu Nu's days unfolded amid these intertwined realities, marked by moments of ordinary joy and the weight of responsibility that colored her young adulthood. Each step upon the earth was imbued with the memories of those who had cultivated this land before her, lives woven into the soil and sky in an unbroken chain of care and resilience. The tenderness with which she approached simple pleasures, sharing sweet bread dipped in che, savoring pink cake, carefully choosing clothes for herself and for Dewey, was emblematic of how life's smallest joys provided refuge and renewal. Her attentiveness to these gently unfolding details reflected a deeper yearning to nurture and protect the fragile threads that sustained family and community alike. The humility in sitting quietly to eat, the laughter shared over playful disagreements about shirts and colors, spoke to a groundedness amid uncertainty, a precious anchor in a world swirling with change. The village market emerged as a nexus of human connection, transaction, and tradition blending seamlessly. Vendors weighed custard apples with practiced care, setting prices to sustain their families with dignity while engaging in conversations rich with the warmth of acquaintance and the occasional tender teasing. The exchange of money and goods was interlaced with shared stories and mutual support, harking back to a social fabric where barter was not merely economic but deeply social and relational. Even the concern over fruit ripeness and freshness articulated the villagers' respect for nature's gifts and the labor woven into each harvest. The narrative deepened with the imminent departure of Comrade Truong, whose years of unwavering service to the community brought both gratitude and concern for the future. His farewell speech, laden with reflections on mistakes, solidarity, and hopes for collective progress, resonated across the village's hearts and minds. His vision, grounded in comradeship and mutual aid, underscored the intertwined fates of individuals and community, where personal effort contributed to shared prosperity and peace. The uncertainties ushered by leadership transitions embodied broader themes of trust, continuity, and adaptation faced by rural communities navigating modern challenges. The persistent shadows of poverty and vulnerability lurked beneath the surface of scenes marked by laughter and care. Tales of households struggling under the weight of natural disasters, ongoing food insecurity, and economic hardship were reminders of the community's fragility and the unceasing efforts required to sustain life. These realities heightened the significance of development efforts and the communal resolve to lift one another toward brighter horizons. Family life, as witnessed in tender exchanges, symbolized resilience and love defying hardship. Dewey's innocent delight in exploring colors and textures, the careful choice of clothes and pillows, and the comfort drawn from familial closeness illuminated the sustaining power of affection. In this, the story echoed the universal human need for security and belonging amidst uncertainty and transition. The opening of the narrative's emotional landscape was further enriched by the recurrent metaphor of storms and shelter. The intermittent rains that soaked the earth and the sight of dragonflies clinging together amid gusts illustrated the persistence of connection despite adversity. These natural images mirrored the villagers' experiences, reinforcing themes of endurance, mutual support, and hope against hardship. The story's richness was amplified by the intricate weaving of personal and communal narratives. The activities of commerce, care, and preparation for change coalesced into a vibrant portrait of life in flux, yet deeply rooted. The bid farewell of a respected leader and the anticipation of new stewardship reflected processes both institutional and intimate, linking governance to the lived realities of villagers. The climactic tension between departure and return, the promise of reunions and new beginnings, hovered as a backdrop to daily life, casting a bittersweet glow upon acts of kindness, labor, and love. The intertwined presence of joy and sorrow, certainty and doubt, painted a nuanced canvas where life's complexities were neither denied nor simplified, but embraced with humility and grace. Through this narrative, the village revealed itself not merely as a setting, but as an active presence shaping and shaped by its inhabitants. The land, the people, and their stories pulsated with a shared essence that transcended tangible boundaries, connecting past, present, and future in an ongoing dialogue. This interplay of continuity and change formed the heart of the villagers' experience, a testimony to their collective spirit and individual aspirations. Ly Tieu Nu's unfolding story, framed within this vibrant milieu, exemplified the universal human journey to find meaning, belonging, and identity. It celebrated the ordinary moments that collectively crafted a life of purpose and connection. The narrative laid bare the delicate balance of joy and struggle, permanence and transition, love and loss that infused rural life with enduring significance. The village, once defined by its rhythms of labor and deeply rooted customs, now stood at the confluence of immense transformation. The shift toward modern rural life stretched across every facet of existence, weaving the ancient with the freshly arising. Ly Tieu Nu found herself living within this evolving tapestry, where fields once tilled by hand met mechanized tools, where traditional markets increasingly shared space with digital connectivity, and where old social fabrics were rewoven to accommodate new voices and technologies. Her days moved between tending the custard apple orchards and navigating the subtle complexities of a community poised on the edge of change. These orchards, fragrant with ripening fruit, were more than agricultural assets. They were symbols of rootedness, continuity, and ancestral care. Working the orchards involved a blend of age-old techniques passed down through generations and burgeoning innovations inspired by the drive toward rural modernization. The gentle task of spreading protective sacks over precious fruit to prevent bruising during harvest demonstrated the intimate knowledge and diligence underpinning sustainable farming practices. Village life still unfolded amidst shared concerns of weather and harvest. The gathering clouds and rising winds presaged the coming rains, a reminder of nature's unpredictable sovereignty over the livelihoods of rural peoples. The villagers' conversations about the timing of harvest, the quality of fruit, and preparations for storms were intertwined with broader discussions about the challenges of adapting to a world that continually demanded more efficiency, sustainability, and resilience. Ly Tieu Nu's interactions with family, especially young Dui, illuminated the powerful role of kinship and anchoring lives amid change. The choosing and fitting of shirts, from superhero motifs to practical everyday wear, spoke to a childhood held tenderly even as the weight of responsibility pressed young shoulders. These simple acts of affection and normalcy were rich with symbolic significance, a commitment to protect and nurture despite hardships and uncertainties. As the community anticipated imminent changes in leadership, with Comrade Truong preparing to transfer responsibilities and depart, a collective sense of transition permeated the atmosphere. His farewell speech reflected a deep sense of duty, camaraderie, and the challenges inherent in rural governance and development. His acknowledgement of past mistakes and hope for future solidarity invoked a vision of collective progress rooted in mutual respect and cooperation. The drive toward modern rural development was palpable within the village's shifting infrastructure and social dynamics. Plans to enhance irrigation, broaden internet access, introduce renewable energy, and implement sustainable agricultural technologies were not abstract ambitions, but tangible realities taking shape in the fields, homes, and communal spaces. The community's efforts reflected national initiatives embracing smart agriculture, ecological conservation, and integration into broader economic networks, phenomena transforming landscapes and livelihoods. Simultaneously, the villagers grappled with persistent vulnerabilities, including poverty, natural disaster risks, and uneven access to opportunity. The intersections between these struggles and modernization gave rise to complex social negotiations. Sustainable progress required balancing economic development with preservation of cultural identity, social equity, and environmental stewardship. Ly Tieu Nu stood at the heart of these complexities. Her aspirations to rebuild and beautify family spaces, to ensure her children's well-being and education, reflected a personal commitment to nurturing roots while embracing new possibilities. Her dreams were emblematic of a generation navigating traditional roles and modern expectations, where love and labor interwove to build resilient futures. The village embodied a symbiosis of nature and human endeavor. The orchards, gardens, homes, and marketplaces formed a living mosaic shaped by cyclical time and enduring care. This landscape was a repository of memory and hope, a shelter for stories sacred and simple, grand and humble. The metaphor of storms and shelter recurred with poignant force. Just as the dragonflies clung together against the rain, the villagers maintained ties that weathered hardship and change. These natural images echoed the human need for solidarity, reminding all that even in adversity, bonds endure and regenerate. The tension between permanence and transition infused daily life with both urgency and patience. The preparations for Comrade Truong's departure and the arrival of new leadership symbolized broader social cycles of renewal and continuity. The ideals of service, cooperation, and shared progress animated these moments, vital for community cohesion. Every act, from harvesting fruit to heartfelt farewells, contributed to a layered narrative where individual and collective histories intertwined. The village's pulse resonated with stories of perseverance and mutual care, embodying the dynamic interplay of past legacies and future possibilities. Ly Tieu Nu's story, set against this rich backdrop, transcended the particular to touch on universal themes. Her journey featured themes of hope nurtured amid hardship, love expressed through small actions, and identity forged through connections to place and people. The narrative honored the silent heroism in everyday resilience and the profound meaning embedded in what might seem ordinary. The village, with its laughter and labor, challenges and changes, offered a world both familiar and novel, a space where the human spirit found expression in sustaining traditions and embracing renewal. It recounted the delicate dance of life unfolding with grace and grit against a landscape both enduring and evolving. As night fell and the rains began to tap gently on roofs and leaves, the village rested, lulled by a sense of shared purpose and interconnected destiny. The future, uncertain yet full of promise, awaited the hands and hearts of those committed to it. Embracing change without forsaking heritage characterizes the village's broader narrative, a microcosm of Vietnam's rural evolution. Traditions persist alongside modern farming innovations. Social transformations collide with cherished customs, and every day is lived amid this rich interplay of past and future. The community stands as a testament to human solidarity, the shared ownership of hope, the endurance of bonds amid trials. In moments of parting and promise, laughter and toil, the village sustains its spirit, marching forward with quiet dignity. The village lay nestled amid rolling hills and fertile plains, its landscape a vibrant testament to the enduring relationship between nature and human endeavor. In 2025, this rural haven was not a static relic, but a dynamic environment undergoing profound transformation. The villagers, including Ly Tieu Nu and her family, lived at the intersection of ancient traditions and sweeping modern influences, where old ways of life intertwined with the emergent realities of technological progress, economic diversification, and social change. The rhythms of agriculture remained central. Custard apple orchards stretched like emerald carpets across the gentle slopes, their fruit swelling with the promise of a bountiful harvest. These orchards were cared for with a blend of ancestral wisdom and contemporary techniques. Protective sacks shielded delicate fruit from bruising as gentle hands picked ripe specimens with practiced care. The villagers' work was no longer only a matter of survival, but an endeavor entwined with aspirations for quality, sustainability, and market integration, reflecting national goals to modernize rural economies. Conversations in the marketplace were alive with a mix of commerce and community, where trade balanced tradition and innovation. Prices were negotiated with fairness, mindful of family needs and the imperative of economic resilience. Even the smallest exchanges, selecting the freshest fruit, weighing produce, or sharing a cup of lemon tea, told stories of mutual support and the collective spirit sustaining the village. These rituals, anchored in daily life, were threads weaving continuity through social fabric amid rapid change. Ly Tieu Nu's personal journey echoed these broader currents. With a heart tethered to family and community, she balanced the demands of motherhood and labor with dreams for a better future. The loving attention she bestowed on Dewey, bright and energetic in his superhero shirts, was matched by the care she took in tending the orchards and preparing family meals that preserved culinary heritage. Her aspiration to renovate and beautify their home was not mere vanity, but a vow to honor legacy and hope, a tangible symbol of resilience and renewal. The village's social dynamics revealed a nuanced picture of connection and challenge. The impending departure of Comrade Truong, a figure embodying dedication and leadership, marked a significant moment. His farewell speech reverberated with calls for solidarity, understanding, and perseverance. He acknowledged past imperfections while urging unity and collective effort, poignant testament to evolving forms of governance rooted in comradeship and community responsibility. Amid these hopeful transitions, the community remained conscious of persistent vulnerabilities. Poverty cast long shadows over many households, and the scars left by floods and storms remained visible. The struggle to overcome hunger and deprivation was intertwined with efforts to modernize and develop, reflecting national aims articulated through policies promoting sustainable rural development. Villagers' discussions turned to infrastructure, education, health access, and environmental conservation, embodying a shared commitment to progress that respected cultural integrity. Nature's presence was palpable and profound. The shifting weather, clouds assembling, winds rising, rains falling, served as a constant reminder of human dependence on the natural world. The metaphor of dragonflies, clinging together even in storms, voiced a communal message of endurance and interdependence. These images resonated deeply, encapsulating the spirit with which villagers faced the uncertainties of changing times. Ly Tieu Nu's story was inseparable from this context. Her encounters with land, family, and neighbors painted a living narrative of continuity and innovation. The simple joys of choosing new clothes for Dewey, sharing meals, or selecting gifts were infused with love and meaning amidst a backdrop of societal transformation. The implicit promise woven through these actions was of care enduring beyond hardship, of roots deepening even as branches reached for new possibilities. Economic modernization permeated village endeavors, from advances in agricultural practices to the integration of digital technologies. The community embraced change while guarding its heritage. The push towards sustainable farming aligned with national programs aimed at improving productivity and environmental stewardship. Market strategies evolved, linking producers to regional and global consumers. These developments fostered optimism even as they demanded adaptation and resilience. Social transformation unfolded alongside technological and economic shifts. Education gained new emphasis, health services expanded, and village infrastructure improved, with roads, clean water systems, and internet access becoming more widespread. These advances fostered improved quality of life and expanded opportunities, altering the fabric of rural social relations. Participation in governance and decision-making increased as villagers assumed roles as active agents shaping their futures. Cultural life retained vibrancy amid change. Traditional festivals, crafts, and communal rituals continued to anchor identity and belonging. Ly Tieu Nu and her family partook in these celebrations, honoring ancestral legacies even as younger generations explored new expressions of cultural pride. The interplay between preservation and innovation defined the village's cultural landscape. The coming of age of youth like Dewey symbolized hope and challenge. Their education and socialization balanced family values with wider social currents. The nurturing environment provided by parents and elders sought to equip them for futures both within and beyond the village, reflecting the complex dynamics of rural life in modernization's wake. Natural challenges persisted against these strides. Environmental concerns such as climate change, land degradation, and natural disasters necessitated adaptive strategies. Villagers' lived experiences underscored the fragile balance between human activity and ecological health. Community-driven initiatives aimed at sustainability highlighted resilient strategies forged in intimate relationship with environment and tradition. Ly Tieu Nu's internal reflections mirrored the village's broader transitions. She contemplated the meaning of home and family, the responsibilities of motherhood, and the pursuit of aspirations shaped by love and endurance. Her hope for a renovated home was emblematic of a desire to create lasting foundations amid flux. The narrative conveyed a powerful message about the rural spirit. It celebrated ordinary acts of kindness, hard work, and mutual support as sources of strength and continuity. The complex interweaving of past legacies and future possibilities manifested in every aspect of life, from orchard labor to educational endeavors, from governance to cultural expression. Amid farewell moments, promises of return, and hopes for progress, community members expressed a shared vision for peace and prosperity. The collective resolve to overcome obstacles, to embrace change while honoring roots, defined the village's identity in a new era. This part of the story stands as a timeless reflection on resilience, adaptation, and hope. Life in the village is a testament to human commitment to nurture and renewal, carried forward through generations with unwavering love and determination. It embodies a history of struggle and achievement, marking the evolution of village life into the promise and complexity of Vietnam's modern rural future. The narrative arc draws to a close amid the powerful currents of transformation sweeping through rural Vietnam in 2025, a year marked by significant strides toward comprehensive, sustainable modernization of the countryside. Ly Tieu Nu's story, rooted in personal endurance and woven into the evolving fabric of village life, stands as a vivid testament to the profound societal shifts unfolding beyond the borders of her home, yet intimately entangled with her daily existence. The village, once a realm marked primarily by subsistence agriculture and age-old customs, was now a dynamic ecosystem propelled by modernization policies and community resilience. National programs had ushered in sweeping changes, infrastructure upgraded with paved roads and improved water systems, digital connectivity extending to remote households, health and education services revitalized, and advanced agricultural technologies gradually adopted. These concrete developments went hand in hand with a surge in local awareness and participation. Villagers no longer passive recipients of state aid, but active agents shaping their futures. Ly Tieu Nu felt the pulse of these transformations in every facet of her life. The orchards she tended were no longer just backdrops to labor, but spaces where scientific advances enhanced productivity and sustainability. Precision techniques, environmentally sensitive pest control, and mechanical aids worked alongside traditional wisdom, empowering farmers to increase yields while conserving the land. These changes lifted economic prospects, elevating quality of life and offering new possibilities for entrepreneurial ventures. Socially, cultural identity found new expressions amid progress. Festivals and communal rituals revitalized with modern elements. Education emphasized preserving heritage alongside global knowledge, and youth embraced technology without severing ties to ancestral roots. Ly Tieu Nu's family balanced honoring traditions with adapting to a world where information flowed freely and opportunities beckoned beyond the village horizon. The community's evolving governance gave voice and agency to more people. Decentralized decision-making, transparent collaboration between local authorities and residents, and concerted efforts to address poverty and vulnerability advanced social cohesion. The spirit of comradeship and mutual aid, highlighted by figures such as Comrade Truong, endured even as new leadership took the helm, promising continuity and renewal. Challenges persisted as modernization posed questions of equity and social justice. Economic disparities remained, with some households still caught in cycles of disadvantage, exacerbated by environmental degradation or limited access to markets. Natural disasters underscored the precariousness of rural livelihoods and necessitated collective preparation and adaptation strategies. Ly Tieu Nu, caught in the nexus of these forces, personified both continuity and change. Her attentiveness to family, desire to create a nurturing home environment, and care for agricultural enterprise encapsulated the complex blend of old and new shaping rural identities. Her relationship with Dewey symbolized hope, carrying forward values through changing times. This narrative also illuminated the emotional landscape underpinning adaptation. The strains of balancing tradition with innovation, the uncertainties of changing social roles, and the joys and sorrows woven through daily life underscored a profoundly human dimension. Stories of friendship, solidarity, regret, and love enriched the tapestry, making the village not simply a place, but a living organism shaped by relationships and histories. Environmental consciousness emerged as a central theme, reflecting national priorities and local realities. Community-led initiatives to protect forests, manage waste, and promote sustainable farming reflected a growing understanding of humanity's role within the ecosystem. Villagers recognized that ecological health was inseparable from economic prosperity and quality of life. Education and health progressed notably, heralding brighter prospects for younger generations. Schools integrated technology, while healthcare outreach extended preventative and curative services to even the most remote households. These advances nurtured human capital vital for long-term development. The village market remained a vibrant hub of exchange, not only of goods but of ideas and solidarity. Vendors, customers, and neighbors mingled amid the scents of ripe fruit and brewing tea, sharing stories and sustaining bonds that fortified social cohesion. Here, the interdependence of economic activity and community life was most palpable. Ly Tieu Nu's hopes and dreams unfolded against this rich social fabric. Her aspirations extended beyond material success to fostering connection, nurturing belonging, and sustaining legacy. The house she and her family tended was more than shelter. It was a symbol of perseverance, love, and renewal. Her plans to beautify and settle rooted her deeply in place even as she prepared for journeys beyond. The narrative closed with reflections on the cyclical nature of life and the continuity of care. The seasons' passage, the generations' comings and goings, and the interplay of joy and challenge formed the enduring dance of village existence. The dragonfly's flight through rain, the orchard's ripening, and the family's laughter and farewells carried profound metaphorical weight, symbols of endurance, transformation, and hope. In the last moments, promises made and kept, love expressed and supported, bade temporary goodbyes and hopeful returns. Comrade Truong's departure marked a milestone, yet his message of unity and perseverance carried forward. The village's heart beat strongly, carrying stories both old and new. Ly Tieu Nu's story, encapsulating the intricate intersection of person, place, and process, epitomized rural Vietnam's journey toward modernity. It honored the invisible labor, social bonds, and emotional depths that make transformation possible. It asserted the value of tradition not as constraint but as foundation for innovation. The villagers' collective resolve to embrace change while cherishing identity manifested a shared commitment to a future both promising and rooted. Their lives mirrored the nation's broader aspirations to build vibrant, sustainable communities where dignity, opportunity, and happiness flourish. This closing chapter celebrated human resilience and the endlessly renewing spirit of community. It offered a nuanced, layered portrayal of life that refuses simplistic narratives, embracing complexity with compassion and insight. The story stands as an enduring testament to the power of place, memory, and love in shaping personal and collective futures.